Today we've got exciting news about the Sun Princess, really exciting news coming about Viking Cruise Lines. We're going to go through some onboard updates from the Sky Princess, news from Alaska, a little bit more about the cancellation policy change that Princess has made, and lots more. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Friday. It is February 23rd of 2024. Don't forget to come and join us for our live tonight. We're going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so bring your questions and come ready to talk about everything to do with cruising. You remember a couple of days ago I let you know that Royal Caribbean on their current world cruises had to make some itinerary changes, so they are actually letting the passengers vote to determine what they're going to do. It's an Africa intensive or one that calls more over in the Greek islands. So I told you I would let you know what I would choose if I were on that cruise, so we'll go over that tonight, and I would like to hear what you would cruise if you have not already shared that in the comments. So let's start off the top with the Sun Princess. So this morning, every morning, the first thing I check is where is the Sun Princess? And she was still at the dock there at the shipyard. But a little bit later in the morning, Gordon sent me a text and showing me the position of where she was, and she has left the dock and is sailing. A little bit later, Let's Go family members were really sweet and sent me another photo of where she was, and so we'll put those both up here so that you can see. As far as her, yesterday I told you that cruise lines have to say where they are going, just like airplanes do, and she is on her way to Zelenika, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. That is in, it looks like it's right close to the entrance to the Bay of Kotor. So if you've ever sailed into Kotor, Montenegro, it's really such a beautiful sailing, and you go in and then you kind of hook around and go all the way in. So Zelenika there is right close by to Montenegro, and the Sun Princess is due to arrive there tomorrow, February 24th at 11 a.m. local time. So we'll be following along, and really I am so excited about this because this really makes it look like she is actually going to sail with all of you who are booked on that cruise on February 28th, which happens to be just on Wednesday. Like, before you know it, you all are going to be on the ship. So I'm really excited about that. Really excited for all of you. I'm really glad that your cruise gets to go, and my heart is still with people that were canceled on the February 8th and the February 18th cruise. I know, and it's like I've said before, my sadness with that is for those of you that was your chance to go, and now you're not sure when you're going to get to go again. So know that my heart is with you, okay? Now, Viking. So this is a big deal, you guys. So if you have been following along here with me, I tell you whenever Viking is in the news. Viking, I think, is the next cruise line that I would like to try out. We're working on that. But the really cool thing is it sounds like that Viking has filed with the SEC in the initial stages. You have to file all these forms with the SEC if you're going to try to do an IPO and go public, and it sounds like that is what they have done. There are several reports out there that say that they have gone ahead and filed for that. There are reports that said they initially were going to do a $500,000, which doesn't sound like a lot. I wonder if that's accurate, actually. IPO. So why am I telling you this? I am not an investment advisor, so don't take this like that. But I am really excited on a couple of levels about this. First of all, if you've been following me along, Viking started out as a river cruise. Then they started doing ocean cruises. They now have 2 expedition ships, as well as really unique relationships with the ability. They've got those cruises that I told you about a little bit ago, and I'm trying to talk Gordon into doing it, that go along the coast of China. So that is a very unique relationship there. They've been sailing on the Yangtze there in China for a really long time, so they have excellent relationships there. And the other thing is they have the Viking Mississippi. So she sails on the Mississippi River here in the United States. So what I'm trying to say is Viking, I would say, you know, you think of all these different cruise lines, but they are really kind of charting a new course, really a game changer when it comes to approaching cruising. everything from rivers to expeditions to China and all of these things. So I think that they are very uniquely positioned, not only for more growth but also profitability. The other thing that I want to say about that is they have a lot of ships on order, and Viking for several years now has had a lot of ships on order, and they keep filling them up. That says an awful lot right there. We're looking for cruises even in the short range here, and a lot of them are sold out. And so congratulations to Viking on that. And if that stock comes up, I'm going to buy me some. So I think it'll be a good investment, but don't buy that because I said that, okay? Quickly, we've got Let's Go family members who have been on the Sky Princess this week. I always love it when you all send me photos. I love it when you tell me how things are going. So I'll share some of the pictures here while I talk, or I'll put them up for us. So first of all, I wanted to let you know, people often ask for recommendations for hotels in Fort Lauderdale. I know the Embassy Suites there, I've stayed there, the Hyatt, the Hilton Garden Inn close to the Hollywood Airport there. I feel like we've stayed at the Westin at some point, not with a cruise, but with a long story there. Anyway, so those are the ones that I'm familiar with, but they stayed at a hotel called the Cambia Hotel, Cambia, and they loved it. They highly recommend staying there. They said it was great. They said, of course, the ship is beautiful and the service has been excellent while they've been on board. Interestingly enough, they said that there were a lot of children on board, but it seemed like everyone was having a fun time. A couple of things that stuck out to me, they shared what the entertainment was. There was the rock opera. Sounds like there were 3 different comedians. They said that 2 of them were good, 1 of them not so much. They had some magic a couple of nights, magic and juggling one of the evenings. I think it was fun. They pointed out that the game shows on the ship were very popular. So if you're familiar at all with Princess, they do a lot of trivia and a lot of fun things as far as that goes. They said that you had to get, if you wanted a seat, you had to get there 45 minutes early to be able to get a seat. So that gives you an idea of the popularity. He said that the food was okay, not remarkable in the main dining room, not remarkable in the buffet. It's always hard because you know food is so subjective, but they did say that in the Catch by Rudy and the Crown Grill that the food was excellent. So I'm excited to hear that. Another quick note for you is they took a ship excursion to Turquoise Bay in Honduras and said that it was excellent. The property was beautiful, the service was really good, and you know a lot of times Gordon and I have done several times, we have done like just the resort, that's the excursion. You go to the resort, you can eat if you want, you have a lounger, you can get in the water, whatever, and some of them have been really good and some of them not. And so I think it's important to note that Turquoise Bay is a really good one. So thank you very much for that update. Also on the Sky Princess, she had to turn around last night and go back to Cozumel. I think I have the right ship. I hope I have the right ship. The person that sent me this didn't say which ship they were on. I do know though that the Sky Princess also had to go back. So maybe 2, I don't, anyway. So unfortunately, our prayers go out to people that have had these medical emergencies. The final thing I want to tell you from these onboard updates is they were told by people on the ship that there is an update to the app today. I've looked so far. I have not seen an update in the App Store. I logged into my app. I don't notice anything different, so let me know if any of you notice an update or anything working any better. There are a lot of glitches going on right now. There's a lot of trouble with birth dates. Just be aware of that, okay? Let's talk about the cancellation policy change that I told you about the other day, just quickly. So a couple of notes. Let's Go family member sent me an email and said, you know what, on the website it still shows the old cancellation policy, not what I told you all. And indeed, they haven't updated the website yet. The other thing that they pointed out is they called Princess wanting to talk about that cancellation schedule, and the people they called didn't know about it. So I'm not exactly sure how they roll out these news updates, but I do want to tell you that that was an official communication from Princess that I received since I'm a travel agent, so I know that that's going to happen. And the bottom line for any of you who missed that is on March 4th, the booking starting that you make starting on March 4th and forward, that cancellation window is going to so right now, if you cancel within 14 days, you don't get anything back from Princess for your cruise. If you have insurance, then you file the claim and go on with that. They are widening that window, so now if you cancel 30 days out, you don't get anything back from Princess on that. I think there are probably a couple of reasons for that. One is I think that it helps people probably evaluate their situation a little bit further out and determine if they really can go on that cruise or not. And of course, I think that probably the cruise lines like to keep as much money as they can, and then the insurers can take care of it. So that's a thought. Tell me what else you all think. I've been trying to think of why else they would do that. That's what I think. It also gives a little bit more of a window if you're going to cancel your cruise, and you realize that at that point, then they can let someone on a wait list come or open that cabin to be for sale. Along with that, just a reminder that if you do want to get your money back, if you cancel close to your cruise, you do have to have insurance. The other day I mentioned that you can get insurance with the cruise line. You can get insurance with third-party vendors. But one thing I did not mention the other day, and I think is so important, is it is really important when you get a policy for insurance, you need to know what's in it. And I think it's really important that you read through and see what's covered, see how it applies, so that then you have an idea. And if something happens that you're wondering if you're covered or not, go read that, and it'll give you a good starting off point that then you can contact the insurance company and go from there. But I think that's really important. I feel like a lot of times people don't read those, and you need to read that so that you're familiar with what happens. Okay, hopefully that'll help all of you. The last thing that we need to talk about is Alaska, and this is a big deal. So a couple of years ago, if you're new around here, in 2022 there was a massive landslide in Skagway, and it happened right next to where the pier is. Where the largest pier is in Skagway actually just is right next to the side of like I would call it from where I live a side of a hill, but it connects to mountains, okay? But anyway, there was a landslide and it made it so that they could not use that dock. So for the rest of 2022, they weren't able to do that. So a lot of ships ended up having to turn that port into a tender port and use water shuttles to transport people ashore there in Skagway rather than being able to dock. And so that's what they had to do some of last year in 2023. They were able to use like the end, a little bit more of that pier and dock some ships there, but part of it was still unusable because they're worried about the stability of the region there that had the landslide. So they're having to use a lot more tenders there, and they're also having to use the port over in Haines, Alaska. You can look at that on a map. It's just down, there's, I believe it's called the Lynn Canal, that it's so beautiful. So if you sail out of Alaska, if you sail out of, when you sail out of Skagway, be out on deck. It is so beautiful, and sailing in too. That is absolutely beautiful. So right down that canal there and over, there's a ferry that runs back and forth. That's how you get between those ports. So those are the things they have been doing. So they built a new dock, and they were taking it up, transporting it from where they built it in the Ana Cortez there, which I believe is in the San Juan Islands there off the coast of Washington. But they hit bad weather unexpectedly, and it broke into 3 pieces. So they had to take the pieces over to Ketchikan so that they're evaluating it and seeing what they can do. Sounds like they're going to be able to repair it, but those repairs will take time, and then they've got to transfer it up to Skagway and do everything that they need to make it usable there. The very first cruise ships are going to start calling at the end of April. Interestingly enough, Norwegian always starts their Alaska cruises earlier before anyone else, and they always stay in the region a little bit later. So if you like to sail on the shoulder season and catch like the least expensive, like Norwegian is a really good option for that. Really quickly, the Norwegian Jewel is going to arrive there in Skagway on Friday, April 26th. Then on the 27th, you're going to have the Carnival Spirit and the Carnival Miracle. And then on Tuesday, April 30th, Holland America's Koningsdam is going to pull right in there. And so I can assure you the Koningsdam is not going to be running tenders. I can't tell you about the Carnival Spirit and the Miracle and the Norwegian Jewel. I would think not. If those are the only ships that are going to be in port, they can handle that. But Holland and America, they just slide right in. So if you're on that ship, you don't have to worry about that. So really the main concern, what this really boils down to, is the time that it takes. It takes longer to disembark passengers from a ship clearly when you have to use all of those tenders, the water shuttles, to be able to do it. The other thing that's a really big deal is your ability to use those tenders depends on how mobile you are. And so if you are someone that you really cannot get off your scooter, or you can't get out of your wheelchair to transfer from the ship over to the water tender, then you can't get off. And so I'm really hopeful that they will be able to get that new dock up there and installed so that a lot more cruise ships can use that dock rather than having to tender this year. So I'll keep my eye out for any updates, and if any of you have updates, let me know. I really appreciate you all being here with me today. Thank you very much. I'll see you here again tomorrow. I'll see you tonight on our live, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.